Hey everyone, welcome to my new video. In this video, we create a Power BI project using DAX and Power BI chart. So let's get started. Before we move into Power BI, so firstly we required data set. So in this case, we have data set is credit risk data set. So now I'm open this data. So this is our data set, and in second data we have a word file where we have instruction about this project. Now open this also. So these are the instruction for this project. Now move to the my data. So in this in this data set we have multiple column. First is percentage. So I'm doing a basic level formatting in this data set. So looks good, and I can see both column data properly. So basic level formatting is this. I create all border and increase cell size as per name on the data column, sorry. Now make it center aligned, and first row will be header, make colored. So in this case, in this data, sorry, we have person age, person income, person home ownership, person employee length, loan intent, loan grade, loan amount, loan interest rate, loan status, loan percentage income, CB percent default on file, CB percent credit history length. So now check what about this column. So now check in Word. So person age showing age, person income showing annual income, and person home ownership showing home ownership status. Person employee length in years means how many years employee working. Loan intent means purpose of loan intent. Loan grade, loan grade, loan amount, loan int rate is called is means loan rate interest rate, sorry. Loan status 0 is non, one default, 1 is default. So here some mismatch, I think. Loan percentage income, CV percent default on file showing historical default. CV percent credit hist length showing credit history length in years. So using this data, I'm doing some modification in column names. So I'm changing this name person age to customer age is okay, and person income I'm changing to control A delete customer a annual income, and person home ownership I'm converted into rename, sorry, into customer home status, customer home status. Personal employee length I'm rename as uh, I'm change as I'm change rename as employee length, employee career in years, employee career in years, employee employee working working year. I'm writing working in years. and loan intent I'm convert rename sorry, loan purpose loan grade is nothing but if is personal loan, so is showing D, education called B, medical called C, venture called A, education also B. Here we also see. So this is based on loan purpose. So I am taking as a disk loan, sorry, loan grade, loan amount, loan amount is renamed from loan interest rate, loan status. Here I understand from this data if loan is active, so it's showing 1, otherwise it's showing 0. So I'm rename also not making any changes, so I'm just writing loan status, loan percentage income, loan percentage income is percentage, sorry, control Z, control, sorry, percentage income. CV dot person default in history I'm rename as historical default, historical default, and CD dot person credit history length showing loans here, loan yes. Now save this file, control S. Now it's time to import our data into Power BI. Now I am opening my Power BI software. I'm selecting blank page. Now first import data from Excel. So I'm going to my destination where my file save, and my file save is project 3 data. So I think Power BI only read a Excel file, and in this case I have file in CSV format. So now change this file into Excel format. So I'm using save as, using this location. This location is okay. Now save as type I'm converting to Excel workbook. Now save. Now my file is saved in Excel format. Now it's time to again check my file is showing or not. Now here my file is showing. Now open it. So my data is importing. So the time is taken depend on the file size of the file of dataset. In this case I have very less file file size, so the file is very quickly load. Now time to load data. Now taking some time. My data is fetched here in data field. Here we can see it's taking some more times. Now my all file are added here. Here we can see credit risk dataset. Now click here. Now all my column are showing here: customer age, customer annual income, historical data, loan grade, and many more. Now it's time to transform data. In Power BI, transform data means some modification, just like remove duplicate, add some data, remove nulls value. So in this type of modification we done in transform data. Now go to transform data. Now here we can see we have my total data here and total column showing. So in this case we do a simple step. We go into view section and go into quality column. I'm tick here. Now here you can see we have in customer age valid data is 100%, 0% error and 0% empty. Now check also for other column. Here person uh, EMP length is showing 3% empty. So it's time to um, solve this problem. Now I'm checking this where is 3%. Now here using only null value. So here we have multiple nulls. So we just do things here and select my all data, right click here and replace value. So now I'm replacing null value to 0. So here you can see now my person employee line showing 0% empty and 100% valid data. Now same for other column. Here we can see in loan interest rate we have 10% empty data. So now same process we done for this column also. Now go to replace value using null, replace with 0. Now okay, here we can see valid data is 100%. Now check for another column. Now my all data is 100% valid and 0% empty and 0% error. So now my work is completed for this column quality. Now I untick here. Now go to home section. Now check for my duplicate data in this column, in this data set. So I am using control A. My all data will selected. Now go into the remove row. Here we see a option remove duplicate. Now click here. So now my all duplicates are removed. Here we can see in applied section remove duplicate or step added. Now in this case we have zero duplicate. Here you can see I'm changing here some name also. Here personal person employee length. Now double click here. So I'm using customer working year year so years. Yeah. Here you can see of first column showing 123. So it's not possible to someone work in 123 year. So is not in general case is not possible. So for this row it might be 12 years or 23 years. So I'm just using this data set. We can see here only one data 123 here is showing out of this range, and most of the data in 1 0 0 to 11 between. So I am changing this data as here. Go to replace value in 123. I am replacing value 123 as as 12 year. So I'm guessing on my way. Please make sure when you work with organizations, please make sure your seniors before you change. So in this case I'm just working on it, so I'm using 12 year. Now okay, now my data will change. Now my all basic modification in this data is completed. Now it's time to save this modification. Now go to the close and apply. Now my data is saved here, taking some time for updation. So my all data is update. Now it's time go for my question solve. So my first question is DAX calculation for financial metric. So question is, using DAX calculate the average loan amount and the average interest rate for each loan grade. How do these metrics correlate with the default rate? So focus area means in this case we have function use average, calculate and filter. So in this case we use all function, all DAX function. Now move my my Power BI section. Now here you can see this is my report view, and now go to my table view. Here we can and create and update, only creates data. Here we have create new column, new measure, so new table, multiple function. So in this case we required average loan amount and using average calculate and filter function. So for this I select a new column here, average loan amount by by grade, by loan grade, by loan grade. This is my column name. I now select this is. Now I am using calculate DAX function. Calculate is here. Calculate expression is required expression. So we need average. This is average. We required loan amount average. So select here from loan amount. Loan amount. Loan amount is here. Bracket close, comma. Here in filter section use filter. Filter is here. Now filter required table. So our table name is credit risk dataset, comma. Required filter expression. So filter expression is based on grade. So credit loan grade equal to earlier. I'm explaining earlier function in after completing this function. Earlier loan grade, bracket close and close. Sorry, my mistake. Bracket close. Now my already closed. Now press enter. Here we can see our new column is created called average loan amount by grade. So I am removing my decimal places. I need only 2 decimal places, so here we can only 2 place. Here you can see we have average amount as per grade and only 2 decimal place. Here we explain you a new function. Earlier means is showing only this selected row. In this case, if here is loan grade is A, so based on loan grade A is showing only A grade data. So similar for B and similar for A. So this is use case of earlier function. Now I am copy this function, Control A, Control C, and again I select a new column, and this column for Control V, average loan interest rate. I think we required interest rate. Yes, interest rate. interest interest rate by column. Here we do some modification. We required average credit risk, average loan amount place where we need loan interest rate. Interest rate is here, and my filter is same for all of this, so I'm using enter. Now this is my average interest rate by loan grade. So here is doing, I'm removing this loan from here, average interest rate. So this is my column name, average interest rate by loan grade. Now again I'm copy this data, add new column. Now here we required control, I'm adding using control V. Here my third data is um, how to do these metric collision default between. So now I think my function is completed. We need only each loan grade. So how to these metric correlation with the default rate. So also we require default rate also. So for default rate, for average default rate, this metric correlation default rate. So I think is average default rate. So I average here, I just edit default 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 rate by loan grade. Here we need credit loan interest rate place loan status, so is showing me hmm, loan status, so it's showing me 01. 0 means not any loan, and 1 means status. So if 0, so can't default, and if 1 is means default. So this is my third function. Now I am entering, and the filter is same for all. We need based on loan grade. So I am entering, so I am getting this average default rate by loan grade. So I am making is here also we put only, here we put 2, also here we put 2 digit and decimal places, so we getting this output. Now this time check in my report view, my 3 new column are created. So I'm using a table, sorry, matrix. So I'm using firstly loan grade. Here we getting A B C D, also here 3. So I'm checking this after adding 3 column. I'm adding this column average, this is my output. Also add this, also this, I also add this. This is my 3 column. So now here I am C or 3 digit. So I am checking a report view. Here we can see in grade, loan grade, we getting a value of 3. Select all, only select 3. Okay. Here we can see is education purpose loan, and so it means is 3 is, I think is typo mistake, and I can see here and select all data for student, and so I am checking here for other student what is the grade. So I am just edit it for education A and B. So is based on rented. So education A, if loan purpose is education, and customer home status is rent, so So the loan grade is A and A or B, so I'm using A. So it's not mm, taking very much effect in my data. So just change here loan grade, mm, replace value 3 replaced by A. So my value 3 is replaces by A. So you can now here close and apply. My data taking time, and now here we can see A value 3 values removed, and A is 3 replaced by A. Now move to the question number 2. Before we move question number 2, mark question number 1 as solved, and in my Power BI page number 1 rename as question number 1 question number 1. For question number 2, question number 2. Now move to my question number 2. My question number 2 is visualization of loan status. Question is, create a report visualization the distribution of loan status across different employment length and home ownership status, which combination show the highest default rate. So for focus area we have bar chart, pie chart, and slicer and slicer for dynamic reporting. So move to my Power BI section. So is my question 2. So we need a stack bar chart. I am using vertical stack bar chart. So we need home status based home status. Where is my home status? Customer home status. This is my home status, and loan status. Loan status. Here you can see our loan status is here. Based on loan status, so I'm putting loan in my legend section. So it's giving me mm, mm, and also I'm changing here count. So it's giving me 0 means no default, and 1 means default. So is so I'm doing some modification. So go to my format for visual. For x-axis I'm increases the size of the count. I'm taking 10. Here I need Shogo UI bold. Color is my black, and title will change as title here is loan status. I using sorry, home status. Sorry, loan status, not home status. Oh, sorry, status. Here you can see my changes is here showing. Also I'm making bold, change font size, Arial black, and also change my color for this is taken as blue. Sorry, it's not look good, brown. So this formatting section is based on come into the user side. So I'm using a simple formatting for at this time. So don't judge me based on this. So now move to the y-axis. So I'm doing same for y-axis. Value section change. Here we increase the size 10. show bold color will be this one, and title I'm changing to loan state count of loan status count, sorry, loan is loan count, so count of loan, count of count of loan. So here my my Arial black size will 12, looking good. Arial black, okay. Legend I'm removing because I know 0. So I'm also change color. I'm using green for not default and red for default. So don't need grid line till now. I'm removing grid line also, and column section. Here we can see column color for 0. 0 means not default. I'm using a green color. Green color is this 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 type of green look good, and 1 for defaulter. So I'm using red color. Go to in red section. So I'm taking this type of red. So border don't need. Add data level, so it's showing data. So 5.2 5 count of 5.2 are defaulter and 11.2 are not defaulter. So add some modification and increase the size. Series for all. Title don't required. So here in value section I increases in black, and this I think black shown very well. Increase font and use some this type of, also we can use white also. So white look good, but black look more attractive, so I'm using this. So here you can change count. So in this case in 1000, so I'm using none. So null using this count. So now it's showing in full size, means full amount. In previous case, if I'm not using or none, so it's showing this type of data. So I like this none, so I'm using this. So blank as or details or total mark label there. Now go to journal section. Here we can change title of this title of this chart. So I'm using control A. So I'm using home based home based home based home status based, sorry, status base loan status, loan sta- status. So it's taking time, so make sure you're doing well. I'm increasing size and make it center aligned, and also I want to change color of this title, so I'm using this color, and wrap this is not required. Header I can don't tooltip showing this. If I am using this, so in showing details where my cursor is here. So if I turn off, so when I am a cursor move wherever, so it can't show any details. So I like this tooltip, so I am using on. And in this section my all data will selected. So go to effect. Here now we can change here the background of this chart. So I'm using visual border on, and background color will be some light grayish. So looks good, and transparency will decreasing. So it's looking good. Sorry, my mistake. I'm using, go to this section, general section, effects, effects on visual border, visual color is, I'm using some golden color, and rounded corner is, here you can see rounded corner, this type of rounded corner. So I'm using only mm, 10% rounded corner in visual border, visual, sorry, 10 px. And shadow here you can see a shadow, yeah, this one. So it's called shadow. So I'm like this shadow, and I want this shadow color is light golden, and this showing offset is outside, so I need inside. So here you can see the golden color comes inside, bottom right position is good, tooltips also on, and this is my formatting done. Now also we required another chart, so I'm copying this chart, copy this chart. So adjust this both chart. I'm adjusting. So here in this case we required second chart for distribution of status different employee length. So I'm changing employee length as working. So here I'm just remove this one and add working year. So add this one, sorry, add working year, where I added in tooltip, sorry. So put we just click remove from here and add in x-axis. So I'm using this and paste here. Here you can see my data is look like for different for different different um different my work experience. So 0, the default rate is highest, and also the default rate will decreasing. So this is the second question solution. Now move solve mark question number 2 as solved, and now move to the question number 3. Before you move forward in question number 3, I'm realize a mistake. Here we need rates, so I'm converted data in values. Here you can see. So my mistake is I want to convert this data in percentage. So select this chart, goes to count of the loan, y-axis data, so value as, so I am using percentage of total. Now here we can see my data is converted into percentage. Here rent, in rent category 34.55% people are not defaulter, and in rent category 15.97% people are defaulter. So now same process do for my second chart. I am using forward printing and paste here. Here we can see no changes shown in this figure. So I'm just checking what's the problem for this. So I'm going to, so here we can see our error message showing data level cannot be shown, enlarge the visual, and or decrease the data level text size. So whenever we face this type of problem, so the simple solution for this is change the chart type. So I'm using cluster column chart. So now here we can see our data is changes and data label also shown. So go to, so in this y section I have converted this data in percentage. Here this data is converted into rates, and make sure here we can see in x level we can't see the total number of customer working years. So go to in format format visual, in x-axis. Here type is continuous, so using categorical. Now here you can see our all type of customer working years and shown in this chart. So here you can see in this data we have very messy data, so I want to decrease this data size. So I'm going into the visual form and go into data labels. In data labels inside we have a option in optimize label display. So in turn of this data, here is 200 pixel, so I am converted into 100 pixel. So now here you can see my data, my value size in this data level is decreased. So now it's look good. So this is the my mistake in this data. So here a simple question, simple formatting we also do in this format painting, and same convert this type of chart into this type of chart. So I'm using format painting and convert this data. So here is some mistake, so I'm using direct this type of cluster chart. So now it's looking good. Here we can see other type also showing now here. So this is the second question solution. Now solve question number 3. Segmentation analysis using loan intent. Question is, segment the borrowers by loan intent and visualize the average income and average loan amount for each segment. Which intent has the highest loan amount to income ratio? Focus area is segmentation, ratio analysis, and use of cluster column chart. So in this question, we know loan intent I'm rename as loan purpose, loan income I'm converted is annual income, and loan amount converted as loan amount. So now move forward my Power BI, and added a new page. Page name I'm rename as control A, question number 3. So before we move forward, we required new column. First is average loan amount, loan amount sorry by loan purpose, loan. So equal to, for this my function is calculate, expression is average loan amount. Here we required loan amount is this, bracket close, comma, added a filter is this, filter required column name, my table name is creditics database, comma, filter expression is this, based on purpose, loan purpose. Where is my loan purpose? Loan purpose is this, equals to earlier I'm already explaining question number 1 solution, equal to purpose, bracket close. Now enter. This is my data fetch from this function. So I required only 2 decimal places data. I'm using only 2 and enter. My data is formatted as 2 decimal places. Now create a new column. Control. I'm copy this function formula. So I'm using Control A, Control C. I'm added a new column. Control V. In loan amount place I'm using annual, ANUAL, annual income. Here I'm just replace loan amount to annual income, and my all formula is remain same. I'm using enter. My data for average annual income fetches here. I'm use only two decimal places data and enter. So my data is formatted. Now we require the ratio of both, so I'm using a new column. I'm using a new column called loan amount and income, annual income ratio. Loan amount and annual income ratio. So is this is this is the column name. So I'm using divide function. Divide. For numerator I'm using loan amount by purpose. So using mm, loan amount loan amount loan amount by purpose, comma, annual income by purpose, comma, is given a alternate value for save divide function with able to handle 0 divided by 0 case. So I'm using a 0 here, and close this bracket and enter. So my ratio of combination of both is this. So I'm using only two data places, decimal places, sorry, using enter. So this is the my DAX function output. Now move forward my report view. Here I'm using cluster column chart. Here I'm using loan purpose as x-axis, and average loan amount and average amount. Just increase the size. Here I am using by mistakenly grade. I'm just remove this data and using by purpose data. So use this. So here we can see my chart is created. So in this case we using some function, so we required only average, so use average here. Average, also change this value average. So this is my output. I'm just drop down here. Now it's looking good. Now for formatting, I'm just copying my previous formatting. I'm using this format printer. Go to question number 3 and enter here. So this is my basic level formatting. I'm just doing some basic formatting. So I'm just go in x-axis. X-axis is my data is I have two data here, so I'm using my title for for x-axis. My title is already in loan purpose. For y-axis I'm using title as average loan average loan amount and income. Average loan amount and average annual income. So I'm using control A, control C. This is my also title. So I'm going to into this and control A, control B, using this title. Average loan amount and average annual income based on, I'm using based based sorry based BA, yes, based on loan purpose. So this is my This is my title. So this title is so long, so I am removing average both of side and uh, average here, remove here from this side, also removing from this side. So this is the my title, loan amount and annual income. I'm just changes and as December and December. Now it's look more cool. Sorry. Now go into y-axis title. Just sorry, just rename as loan amount and loan amount and annual income. This look good. Now my y-axis title is shown. Now I'm doing some basic formatting. I'm going into data level. So data level. So I'm changing my data level position is this data value and unit place. So I'm using 1000. So it's look more beautiful. Here we can see. So this is the my output for loan amount and annual income based on loan purpose. So I'm create a new chart showing the ratio of both of the data. So in this case, I'm copy this data and create a line chart, remove both data, add a ratio. I'm creating a ratio chart. Where is my loan amount and a ratio income? So I'm adding this. Here this is the sum of data, so I need average is here. So it's showing very low data, so I'm taking as individual. So I'm removing uh, data level unit, change data level unit. Here here we have display unit as 1000, so I'm using none. So now this is the ratio uh, ratio for both of this. So I'm doing this type of little bit formatting. So formatting based on user side. So this is my simple formatting for this. So we can more formatting, but video maybe more lengthy. So I'm just doing some basic level basic level formatting. So I will change this type of color. Also we can change data label color. Here we have black, so we can use white. Sorry, white can't be seen. This is the basic level formatting for this, but my main motive is to show the output for this question. So now mark question number 3 as solved. Now solve. Move to question number 4. My question number 4 is time series analysis. Question is, considering CB person grad history length as a time dimension. So CB person grad his length column name I have already changed as loan year. So analyze how the loan default rate has changed over the year. Implement a time slicer to adjust the viewed period. Focus area is time series visualization. use of slicer line graph. So move to the my data set and data in Power BI. So for this we need to create a DEX function for default rate. So go to my new column. We need a loan default rate. Loan default rate. My new column name is loan default rate equal to function is calculate expression is I'm using count row. So is uh, count all my data, so all my data row. So I'm using the my table name bracket close comma required a filter. Now we need a filter, so for this we have based on which data who default. So we get default as loan status. If loan status is 0, so means no default. If loan status is 1, so mean default. So for loan status equal to 1, so this is my first DEX. Now we find the rate. So using count row again, count row. Now we need to get all data row from data this Redis data set. Now enter. So this is my loan default rate for my data set. Now move for a report view, add a new page, rename as question number 4. Question number 4. Now select a line chart. Line chart in x-axis we have loan years. Move forward to loan years. Now loan years. After loans year, we just created a new column called loan default rate. Now click here. So this is sum of loan years. So we need to check only count. So I'm using this value as count. So this is my count. I'm using data label on from here. Data level is here. So when the loan years is very very short fitted, the loan default rate is very high. Whenever the time when time is increases, the loan default rate is decreases, and the minimum default rate at 20 after 26, I think 26 years. So now make some formatting. I'm using this formatting as here. So I'm using this. So my formatting is looking like this. So I'm making some changes in my titles. So here I am changing y-axis title. My y-axis title is loan default rate. Loan default rate, and data is same, and for y-axis is my loan area. So my minimum as 26 year. I guess right. So I'm changing my title, main title here. Control A. Loan default rate by loan default default rate based on loan years. So I'm changing the line color also. color line is here. Selected all. My line is solid, rounded. Width I'm decreasing. Uh, just 4 is good. Now change color here as oranges. Sorry. So I can use golden, but it's not looking good. White is not good. So formatting section goes to user side. I already told you. In x-axis I'm using continuous data, so I'm getting good visualization, good visual for data levels. So this is the solution for question number 4, and now move for question number 5. Mark question number 4 as solved. I am using slider after at dashboard time. For at this time I am not using slicer. So I am marking question number 4 as solved. Question number 5. Predictive analysis and what if analysis. Question is create a what if parameter to simulate different scenario based on varying interest rate. How do you change in interest rate potentially affect the default rates? Focus area is what if analysis, scenario testing, parameters, integration. So now move to my Power BI, add a new page, rename as question number 5. Question number 5. And for predictive analysis, so I'm using a line chart. Line chart required loan interest rate and default rate. Default rate is this and interest rate is this. I'm moving my default interest rate in my x-axis, so this is my chart for default rate and loan interest rate. So what if analysis used to make interest rate dynamic. So if we find out the default rate for 20% interest rate, so this is used what if analysis. So for what if analysis, I'm going to my modeling view. Here we have a section called parameter. I'm using numerical range. We also use field, so in this case I'm using a range. Numeric range is numeric range, and parameter, here we can create a parameter name. I'm using interest rate parameter meter, and data type will be decimal number. So minimum value for my interest rate is 0 and maximum goes to is based on user. I'm checking for 25, and increment in data is interest rate percentage is, if I'm using 1, so 1% increase, so 0 1 2 3 I'm getting this type of data. And if I'm using 0.50 means half percentage will increase. So in this case we have 25 maximum value and 0 minimum value, so we get 26 value in row, and if I'm using 0.5%, so I'm getting 52 row. So 50 row is 50 row counts is very big, so I'm using only 1%. I'm using also 2% also, so I'm using 2. Create a also make sure here add slicer to the page is also tick. If this is not tick, so you can't show slicer in my page, so I'm using create. So it's taking some time. So here you can see we got a slicer. Here you can see my percentage will increase it, so it increases by 2. So for this I'm using slicer type as vertical type. Here you can see we're getting tile 0% because our minimum value is 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, and go for 20 because in two range we don't have 25, so this is okay, it's not a big issue. So for this table make dynamics and work for this data also. If I'm using this data, so it can't work in this table. So for this work I'm using a measure. I'm creating a measure. I'm going to home section, create measure. So I'm using measure name as interest rate, interest rate, sorry, dynamic, not dynamic. This is my measure name. I'm using selected value, and my parameter name is interest rate parameter. So I'm using using this name. Here we can see interest rate parameter using bracket close and enter. Now my data is dynamic, but you can see here no changes. So firstly we want to add this data in my y-axis. So for loan default rate I'm getting, sorry, taking some issue with my mouse, so I'm using this value as this section. Here you can see my changes will shown in this figure. I'm just for 0% is this. Yeah, this blue line showing default rate, and this sky blue line showing my interest rate. Whenever I'm increasing, the data will changes. In this case we use saying is showing a straight line, but it's not a straight line because we have a default rate is in very low value. In this case I'm showing here in my average section. Here we have 10 to power minus 5 0 in previous, and then 3, so it means very low value. So that's the reason it's showing a very different straight line data. So because it is 0 and 20 between no relation. So if my interest rate is 16 and sum of default rate is 0, is not 0, is a value, but in comparison to 16 is very low. So this is the use case of if-else analysis. Now mark question number 6 as solve. Sorry, question number 5 as solve. And before move question number 6, I am making some formatting in my data. So I am doing some formatting. I am using question number 1 formatting to my question number 5 here. Sorry, so I don't have a line chart. I am using this line chart formatting in my question number 5. So I am using this, so my data will changes. Here you can see our data is so less. This data here you can see 0 value, but it's not 0, it's very low. So in comparison of this is showing very low value. I'm using 24. Here we can see 24 is showing is dynamic right now, which interest rate we required. This is showing my interest rate. For 0 interest rate, here you can see now he is making a comparison, because my interest rate is 0, near 0, and though my my default rate is also near to 0. So now here you can see is making both lines in my similar way, and here you can see the difference between both of my interest rate and default rate. So I'm making some more formatting in my video, in my this visual. So I'm using slicer is in okay. This slicer is okay. I'm just decreasing size and slicer is bold and Arial black. Here is my parameter. Sorry, my slicer title is changed. So interest rate parameter. So I'm removing parameter. So just taken all the interest rate, and I'm changing the color of the title slicer. And border background is also, sorry, no need of background. And value section, I'm increasing some value UI this and bold. So here you can see some changes in here. Also using sorry, white background also white. So that's the reason both value are the shape here. So I'm using this type of value, not looking good. So this makes not good. So I'm using black. So I'm using this type of color. Also my title is also this type of. So for best case I'm using black color. And title section also on. Effects background will be this type and mark it as 10%, and this is really this type. Sorry, my background will be this type. Oh sorry, here we can see this type. Sorry, my background is grays, so that's the reason is looking this type. So I'm using this more darker, this type of more dark, this type. So formatting based on user side. So I'm using here. So here I'm also doing some formatting. I'm just change title name, Control A. I'm using default default rate and interest rate comparison and using okay. My this type is good. I'm also change y-axis. Y-axis my default rate. So I'm changing title here, default rate. Sorry, I'm using some mistake. Rate. Okay, my rate is looking, I'm taking at 0 value. So because is near about to 0 and is also 0, so that's the reason is making some comparison here. So I'm making some at x-axis I'm using at continuous. So now it's looking good. So this is the solution of this video. I'm already marked question number 5 as solved. Now solve question number 6, geographical data exploration. Question is, if geographical data example state, city were available, how would you visualize loan distribution and default rate across different regions? Focus area is geographical visualization, heat map, bubble maps. So in this case we don't have geographical data, so data provider suggest me in place of geographical data use loan purpose or loan category. So I'm already changed loan purpose. So in this case I'm using loan purpose. Now move forward my Power BI. Question number 6. I need a, a pie chart, or in place I'm also using funnel chart also. So we need loan purpose. Loan purpose is this, and we need uh, rate rate loan interest rate, not loan default rate. Yes, loan default rate. So loan default rate is here. So most of the loan default in case of medical. So now I'm converted in count in percentage section. So this is the percentage of loan default. So I'm using this formatting this formatting copy and paste it to question number 6 here. This looks good, and I want to change also title for question number 6. The title is control A delete, sorry, control A delete, mm, loan loan default rate rate based on based on loan purpose loan purpose purpose. So this is my title for this chart, loan default rate based on loan purpose. So I'm also doing some modification in my Y section. Color, I use also different color, so it's look better. Also need row level data, category level here, category level I change as semi bold, increase size, make it bold, sorry, just decrease size, and removing from bold and increase size. Now change color. So I'm using this type of color, not suitable, white, black. So using this type of color, not good. So I'm using black color also. This is the most suitable color for this chart. So mark question number 6. Question number 6 is solved. Question number 7, advanced DAX for risk assessment. Question is, write a DAX formula to calculate the risk for each loan considering factors such as loan amount, percentage income, default history, and employee length. Define the risk score formula based on these factors. Focus area is complex DAX expression, conditional statement. So in this case we already know, we change some column names. Loan amount is same as loan amount. Percentage income I am changes as annual income and converted into percentage. Default history as historical default, and employee length I am changes as customer working years. So in this case we done multiple DAX function. So we doing nested DAX function and if statement or conditional statement. So now move to the my Power BI. So in this case we require a table view, add a new column. So it's taking too much time, so I'm just solve question, and I'm solved my question in previous, and I'm just copying my data copying my text. I'm just explaining here what I am doing here, because it's taking too much time and sometimes giving error because I'm doing some symbol error. So I'm using ChatGPT and other AI tools. So in this case I'm just explaining what I'm doing here. So I'm creating a new column, name is risk score, and in this case and I'm creating a variable. Variable name is loan amount risk equal to, I'm using a DAX function called a switch required or expression and condition. So when expression is true, then this condition will fulfill. It means now I'm explaining you what I am doing here. If loan amount is greater than equal to 40,000, then print 3. When loan amount is greater than equal to 28,000, then print 2. When loan amount is less than 28,000, then print 1. Here 2 3 1 is 3 means high risk if loan amount is greater than 40. So I'm calculating as for all my variable as loan amount. We already know we need to find DAX for each loan, calculate considering factors such as loan amount, risk score, define the risk score based on these factors. So we know we getting these DAX based on loan risk. So we getting this type of value, and we know we don't have criteria, so I am getting criteria on my way. You can just changes this value, you get another answer. So 3 means high risk, 2 means medium risk, and 1 means low risk. And now close my first variable. Now create a new variable called percentage income risk. So using switch function, customer annual income is greater than 0.50 is 50%, and then print 3. Customer annual income greater than 30%, then print 2. Customer annual income percentage. Here I'm not saying doing percentage. Here if I'm writing 0.3, so it's in percentage. So if customer annual income percentage less than 30%, then print 1. We already know in my above variable that 3 means high risk, 2 means low medium risk, and 1 means less risk. And now I'm going to my historical default risk. Variable name is historical default risk. If I'm not using switch function, I am using if function, because in this historical default historical default we have only two values, yes and no. If y then is default, is no means is not defaulting. So here we can't use a switch function. Here we simply use if function. If function required only two value. If this expression is true, then print this, and else print this. So here is same. Historical default is yes, then print 3. So 3 means high risk, and if not, then print 1. So now close if function and add a new variable. A new variable customer working risk equal to, using switch, true. Customer working years less than 2 years. If customer working as less than 2 years, then print 3 means high risk. If customer working years less greater than 2, and here is and symbol, and customer working year less than 5 years, then print 2 means medium risk. If my third condition is customer working year is greater than 5, then print 1 means low risk. Now add a new variable. Here I am adding all my variable: loan risk, loan amount risk, percentage income risk, historical risk, and customer working risk, because we need to get risk score formula based on these factors. So factor are these, and we got formula. I'm adding both of the numbers and return total as total is मतलब means it means is written total risk score, and we already defined my column name as risk score. Now just click here commit, and my data is taking time, and here we can see my data is coming here. Here risk score, we have multiple risk score, so I'm using here this type of data. So here we can see multiple type of risk score I'm getting here. 6 7 8 9 10, maximum is 11. So if value is 11, so it means highly risky. If it means 6, so low risky. So this is the, now add a new page, question number 8. Here we done question number 7, visualization. So I'm selecting a custard bar chart. So here in x-axis I am adding risk score, and in y-axis I am adding annual income, historical default, loan amount, and working years. So I am selecting loan amount, customer working years, customer annual income, and default rate. Historical default is this. So it goes to value sections, I think small multiplication. Getting here. Now you can see we have multiple value. Here we have a very small column, because the data is for short is very small. So I'm using add data level here. Here in my data in billion, so I'm converting in thousand. So firstly I'm just copy some. So for this I'm just creating a new formatting. So in x-axis we have risk score. So I'm using as continuous is okay. Values are increases by this one, and I'm using CBO fold, and I'm just change color as black. Sorry, I'm just black. I'm using for title. Just go for Arial black, bold, and height is good, and just increase color as risk. No, not looking good. So I'm using this color, so it's looking good. Now more for y-axis. Y-axis is this, values are this. Increase a single value using this one and using black. So same type of formatting. And in title section I'm using black, bold, Arial black, 12 height is good. And title for this, so in this case we have multiple title, so I'm using multiple data, multiple data. So here you can see multiple data. So this is my legend, and I require legend here, so can easily check what bar denoting what value and what bar denoting what value. So I'm using top center. I'm just formatting this this also. I'm removing some of loan. I'm just using loan amount. So text, in this case we don't have. tag loan amount. So in data level I'm just changing some value. So for loan amount I'm using 1000 as unit. 1000, here you can see 1000 unit. And also for annual income, just change unit from here as 1000. And for working years and historical default I'm using null unit, because the data is very low, so is coming to none value. So same for, sorry, I'm giving historical change, and now go for working year and change position, not change position, just change value unit. Unit is none. Now here you can see we have this type of data, annual income and loan amount in my 1000 unit, and it is as well in whole unit, not in individual. Here I'm just formatting this type of legend. So I'm going to here, I'm just change here. So I think changing here, go to customer, just remove some of and just change historical and same for customer annual income. So now my legends look good here, not looking too much big, and also in center level. Now in this case I am adding a title for my visualization. So adding risk score score 4 multiple data. So I'm doing some formatting for my title, increasing size, making center line, and change color as. So formatting is like this, and sorry, I'm just changing for this type color, and header icon is on, effects are transparent at 10%, 13. Okay, when I'm applying background then it's working, so I'm using this type of background. Okay, and is 10. Okay, and visual order on, visual order in golden color, rounded it 10%, 10 pixels, sorry, and shadow is on but inside, also in light color. Now my visual looks like this. So some more modification required. So I don't like this grid line, I'm just removing the green line. Green line is here, just remove horizontal grid line, also vertical grid line are removed. Now my question number 7 and question number 7 DAX and visualization is complete. Now my question number 7 is solved. And question: security feature for sensitive data. Question is: implement row level security to ensure that user can only view the data relevant to their specific region or department. How would you set up these rules? Focus area is security implementation, role setup, testing, security setting. So in this case we don't have region and security, and data provider already suggests me use use geographical data in place loan purpose. So I am implementing row level security in my loan purpose. So move my Power BI. A row level security used to ensuring data security is restrict the data for row. So I'm explaining by example. In case we have multiple country data, example France, Canada and India. So I want to share my data to India. So in Power BI we don't have any option to share only India data. We can use slicer, but user also use slicer. So for this we use a row level security function setting. So it is just block other country data like Canada or France, and only giving data for India. So we can share only India data for India sales. Now I'm showing you how to implement row level security on data. So go to modeling view. Here we can see function manage role. Add new role. Add a new role. Sorry, in this case we have already a role. I think I'm creating a role. So I'm using medical. Selected table is credit is data set. If we have multiple data, so here we showing multiple table. So I'm just selecting here we have column, condition and value. If loan purpose equal to medical, then implement row level security. This is save. Now security applied on role changes. Now I'm making another role. I'm renaming it. Rename it education. My table for education is same. Just filter data, add a new, and we need this education in my loan purpose data. Loan purpose equal to medical. Sorry, education. So make sure I'm using same data, because it is case sensitive. So in this case is capital letter. So make sure also here is capital letter education, and save this. Now successfully roll up our chain. Now check. Now testing security setting. So I'm using security check. Now cut it here. So here we another function view as. Now we can see we have none, means no row level security. It's showing all data for all loan purpose. Now we want to check only education purpose loan. So I'm just click here education and OK. Now is saying, now here we can see only row only education purpose data is showing. This data already also implemented all my data. Here we don't see the dynamic effect, because in this case we have a single visualization. When I'm creating my dashboard, where I'm showing how the row level security and what's the effect on my dashboard. So I'm just showing another row level. So I'm using education here. So showing only education. I'm just implicating medical and removing education. Now here you can see only showing medical data. If I'm using if I'm using only both of data, so I can see only two data are showing. If I'm using none, so my all data come back in my previous form, original form. I'm showing this row level security in dynamic in my dashboard. So make so mark question number 8 as solved here and move to the question number 9. Question number 9, dashboard creation and publication. Question is design a comprehensive dashboard that include all of the above analysis, include navigational feature and tooltips. How would you publish and share the dashboard with stakeholder in Power BI service? Focus area is dashboard design, publication, sharing and collaboration feature in Power BI. So in this question I'm only create a dashboard. So because for publication we require the organizational email address, so in this case I don't have organizational email. So for this question I'm just creating. For publication please watch another video on YouTube. So I'm creating a new page. Create page name as dashboard. So I'm insert a rectangular shape. This is my rectangular shape. Shape is rectangular, corner is 30% rounded. Here you can see my corner is rounded. Rotation not required. Style, color is this type. Transparency, border also required. So I will also change the, and I'm adding a text box in here, and text box background color will be text background will be this type. So my text look good. Also visible border, so border and background one. So in this case we have just this type. Now add my title, dashboard title. My dashboard title is credit risk analysis. This I'm control A. Increase font size I'm taking 40. Now it's good. And change the font as white and bold. Make it center aligned, and it's looking like this. I'm just fix some so move into the center. Now it's looking in center. Now just decrease the size. Now it's looking good. Now I'm adding action not required, action required. Style border on, border will be on, and glow, and text color will be this type. So here you can see is showing color. Now add all charts and table in my dashboard section. Control C and go to in section. Control V. Here same for all charts. It control C, control V. Decrease the size of the chart. So formatting goes to user side. Control Shift, Control C. Go to dashboard section. Paste it here. So I think in this case we have multiple visualization, so it's not easy to fit in a single page. So for this I'm using another page. Control it, dashboard dashboard 2. So I'm already taking question number 3 visual. In question number 4 I'm taking the only for read, and then so in this case we have found, so I'm just taking a change and I'm converted into percentage. So now it's looking good. Control C, go to Control V. I'm just removing it. Also remove this section and make it duplicate. Here you can see we have a duplicate value. Now change the name. Question dashboard number 2. Remove this dashboard. Control and delete. I'm duplicate because I need this title, so I don't want to create again and again. So I'm using this visual. Control C, Control V here. Just decrease the size. For question number 5th, in this case we have one visual and one slicer. Control C, move to Control V, sync. make it sync. So data will change both of the sheets. For question number 6, I'm using Control C. Go to Control V. Just adjust after time. I will adjust. I'm already taken question number 6. I'm now question number 7. Control C, Control V. So now in this case we have all data added in my dashboard. So now I'm adjust my all data. So for this I'm using, so this matrix looking good in this section, so just do modification. Just I'm slide little bit. Okay, now okay, do here. Okay, just increase the size. Just increase the size, and also this visual also added here. So here, and increase the length of the visual. Also this section, also this chart, I'm just decreasing the size of the chart. Not good. My some values are hidden, so I'm taking previous form, and here I'm just decreases my chart size. So formatting goes to user side. I'm already done multiple videos, because it's taking time. So in this case I'm creating video, so I don't have too much time to create visuals. So I'm just decreasing size. This is the size. Okay, now increase size here, and till here, and till here. Just increase more. So for this is the line. Okay, now just adjust, just decrease a little bit more. Just fix this chart a little bit more. Okay, now just increase the size. Just making a gap. Now it's looking okay. My formatting is not good, so formatting make on way. So looking okay. So I'm moving to my dashboard number 2. So now adjust here other visual. So in this case increases here, and also goes do this type of visual. Here we can move my data, move my slicer, and for this we require a big visual. So I'm taking this aside and taking it here, and increases my size. Okay, and just decrease little bit size and put into down, and also use this side. Okay, and just increase this visual size, and decrease the size, and increase this visual size. Sorry. So this is, and fix some this visual also, and also this, also increase this. So it's looking okay my way, and my chart working properly or not. Here whenever I'm changing something in my this chart, also changes here, also here, also changes here. Now I'm telling you in previous video, I'm telling you how to use row level security, and showing you in my dashboard section. Here if I'm using education, so sorry, in this case we don't have education data. So here you can see the education data. So only education data showing here. Also dashboard number 2, only education data show. So whenever I want to share my dashboard only particular data. So this time use a row level security. I'm removing and just adding only medical data. Here we can see only in this case we have only medical data, medical here, and same as in dashboard 2, all where the row level security working properly. Here also medical. So this is the use case of the row level security. And my after using none, my all data come into my normal form. And this is my dashboard for credit list risk analysis. And sorry, this and this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching.